Darlington. It's dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona, the big one is out. Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the Pro Street Stock Series, sponsored by Tri-E Coolers. Today we find ourselves at the virtual Darlington Raceway, where we're going to see these competitors do battle over the course of the event. No fast repairs, 40% fuel allotment, and we've got 3 sets of tires available behind pit road. My name is James East with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second, with world-famous Mike Hayward in the booth for race control tonight. Good to see Mike out here as well. Let's get ready and get the party started as drivers are making their way out onto the grid, and we will get things going here today. Drivers making their way out will run through the grid tonight. We've got Austin Edwards starting on pole, Jacob Feskinen starting second, James SoundCloud Silver starting third, Jeff Edgar starting fourth, Michael Vandermeet starting fifth, Tyler McRae starts sixth, Travis Sukup seventh on the grid, John Friley starting eighth, Tyler Evans starting ninth, Timothy Johnson starts 10th, Michael Hayward will be our race control for the evening. Still waiting on a couple more drivers to make their way out onto the grid, and then we will get things started tonight at Darlington. I got confused there for a second. Going to be interesting who can claim Darlington, pick up the win. The points have been close all season long, and these guys have been racing hard. Right now we've got over $500 of prize money up for grabs, and it's going to be a close season. As we get a look at the standings coming into tonight, is Jacob Feskinen leading the points. He is 5 and only 5 points ahead of Tyler McRae in second. Jeff Edgar third in points, 12 back from your race leader. And we do have the team chase as well. Cornerstone Motorsports out front with the points. They have edged out Fastland Motorsports after last week's dirt race at USA International, as Cornerstone finds themselves 22 points ahead of Fastlane. Dropping Bombs Racing currently third in points with 43 points back from the leader. And then we've got East Action Sports fourth in the team points. Looks like the pace car is rolling here today. And we will get ready to send them out for 110 laps here at Darlington. We get them gridded up, double file behind our iRacing pace car, and we get ready to start the show tonight at Darlington. Pace car will be in this time by. Pace car is in. Now this initial start will be on green for our race leaders, Edwards and Feskinen on the front row. And away we go, 110 laps here at Darlington. Let's see if there's any opening lap excitement today. As Edwards and Feskinen still side by side in the front row. It looks like Edwards has the drive on the inside line. James Silver's the number 17 machine. Is going to slot up into second as Feskinen, the team captain for Cornerstone, tags that outside wall, allowing Silvers to take over second. as Feskinen will now find himself dropping back to 4th, possibly 5th, as McRae and the 99 machine are riding up on that inside groove. Does a good job hopping off the race line, not wanting to get tied up with Feskinen here. Now we're expecting the pit window to open up around lap 30 to 35, as we're going to see most of the drivers try to come in here. But we've seen some great fuel mileage races in the season opener. Right now it's Tyler McRae in the 99 machine with the fastest lap of the race, a 34.6, running anywhere between 500s to a full 0.2 faster than the rest of the field. As Austin Edwards out front putting the hammer down and trying to put a gap on to SoundCloud Silver's running second. Currently holding about a 0.4 advantage behind Silver's. The field stacked up. You've got Edwards, Silvers, Vandermeed, McRae, your top 5, as well as Feskinen in the top 5. It's going to be interesting to see who makes any big moves here, as it looks like McRae may have gotten a little bit of a bump there from Feskinen in the battle for 4th. Now these drivers have ran almost thousands of laps together at this point, so they know who they can trust, who they can push, and who they may want to give a little bit extra room to. As, oh, is that Feskinen with a big moment? It is on the inside line, gets loose in that 926 machine. He is now down 6 spots from where he started tonight, as he will follow along behind Tyler the Weapon Evans and Travis Sukup, who are running 6th and 7th. Feskinen maybe have made a setup error here today and maybe having some sort of issues. Now this race scheduled to be about an hour long, barring any cautions or pit cycles. As Edwards out front really gained some ground, he's put almost 7/10 on second place Silvers. I don't think Edwards has fuel conservation in his mind. He's just going to keep the hammer down that number 19 machine and keep it moving forward, as the rest of the field still running in fairly so much just one pack out here today. A little bit further back to SoundCloud Silvers. He's about 1.2 off the leader, and he's got a lot of company. Silvers, Vandermeer, McRae, Edgar, Sukup, Feskinen, Evans, all in this massive pack, running 2nd through 8th. I'm wondering if this is the fuel mileage pack that we may be seeing while Edwards is giving it his all, because right now Edwards running about 0.4 faster than the rest of the field early on, only 8 laps in, and really extending that gap. So we may see 2 different strategies out here tonight. Some drivers giving it all right off the beginning, and some drivers playing out the fuel mileage run. As Silvers had a 34.59 his last time by. It seems like he maybe picked up the pace slightly, running about 0.2 off what your race leader Austin Edwards is doing. As Feskinen starting to crawl back up the field as well, now running 7th. He's gotten around Tyler Evans, his teammate. Now he's going to try and put some work on Travis Sukup. Sukup in that number 45 machine, racing with Dropping Bombs Racing. Looks like 4 teams represented here today. You've got Fast Lane leading the charge, the number 19 machine. Cornerstone makes up second through third. Dropping bombs. Current fastest car is fourth on track with Tyler McRae. And East Action Sports has Timothy Johnson in the 553 machine running ninth on the track. You can still see Fesk in that 926 machine, though, getting a little bit loose over the course of the run. That back right stepping out. Curious to see if maybe he's just set that car up for the longest run speed he possibly can. We go on board with Fesk, and actually let's pan that camera up to Michael Vandermeer, number 84 machine, who's following second place Silvers. As it didn't sound too much like they were wide open there, maybe leaving a little bit in reserve. And that has allowed Edwards to extend his gap on the field by almost 2 seconds here. Going to be interesting to see how the strategies play out. Again, expecting that field window to open up around lap 30 for these drivers, as second through eighth in a massive pack out here today. Vandermeer has a little bit of pressure from McRae in the DBR 99 machine. Not sure if McRae is going to make a move here or maybe just play it safe behind Silvers, who's leading this pack. McRae also has Jeff Edgar, team captain for Fastlane in the 007 machine, running fifth on the track right now. And it seems like drivers pretty content just to follow the leader, or at least in this case follow Silvers in second, as Edwards is way out front. As this is round 6 of the season. And we've had 4 different winners. Michael Vandermeer's brought home 2 wins. Jeff Edgar has 1 win. You've got Jason Gardner, who has a win, and Blake the Little Weapon Win. He has a win as well, as he ran as a fill-in driver for Fastlane Motorsports. So it looks to be that the teams are fairly tied. You've got Cornerstone Motorsports that has 2 wins so far this season. Fastlane has 2 wins. Dropping Bombs has 1 win so far this season, and East Action Sports still looking for their first win of the season. So if Edwards out front can bring it home in that 19 machine as he extends that gap to 2 seconds, he's looking good to have his first win of the season. Looks like Vandermeer's still getting some pressure from that 99 of McRae. McRae maybe just trying to stay in the draft of that 84 and save a little bit of fuel as we go on board with that number 99 machine. And you can hear the tires squealing out of these street stock machines. Now this is an open setup league, so drivers set the cars up to their liking to try and make something happen. As Silver's very slightly extending his gap over Vandermeed. So we pan the camera back up front. It's Austin Edwards with a 2.5 second margin running out front 20 laps in. Gonna be interesting to see how much more fuel he's burning than the rest of the field. As his last time by, it looked like his pace dropped slightly to match the drivers running 2nd through 8th. Almost everybody clicking off 34.6s here. As we have seen some pretty wild fuel mileage shenanigans take place so far this season. A highlight was the season opener of Jeff Edgar actually getting pushed to the line by a teammate as his machine, that 007, sputtered to a halt. And man, oh man, are these machines looking clean out here today as well. Good to see some of the drivers running new paint schemes. Edwards always looking sharp in the number 19 machine. And we're going to check back in on Silvers and the rest of the pack. Silvers and Vandermeed have a little bit of a breathing room back to McRae in 4th. As McRae is still chased by Jeff Edgar, Travis Sukup, Jacob Veskinen, and Tyler Evans all in this pack. And then we have one more pack on track. That's John Friley and Timothy Johnson running in tow. Friley running 9th, Johnson running 10th out here today. Johnson, a newcomer to the Pro Series in the 553 machine, getting a late season ride with East Action Sports after he stumbled upon the league. As you go on board Johnson, keeping Friley in tow here in the 06 machine. Johnson's been working on setups in his spare time to get a little bit more dialed in. Edwards still out front though, 2.5 seconds over the rest of the field. And not having any problems. As Edwards, I don't think he's doing a whole lot of fuel saving here. I think he's going. As man, that pack in second place still wild. And look at that. Here comes Jeff Edgar looking at the inside line of the 99 machine, maybe taking a shot at it. Measuring up McRae here. Backs out of it though. So now 25 laps in, some of the drivers making their way, or at least trying to make their way through. As it looks like things settled in. Edgar maybe was just trying to put some clean air on the front of that 007. May have been running into overheating issues, perhaps. Just trying to take a peek at what's going on in front of him. Maybe also spotting out where Silvers is, who's leading this pack. And Edgar saw, all right, the pack's all here. Edwards out front may not have the fuel mileage as the rest of the cars, so he's not worried too much about him. Feskin in that 926 machine. He's behind Sukup still. Looks like he's made some ground back up, but not in a big hurry to do anything. I think he's going to be one of those drivers on fuel strategy as well, as the Cornerstone Motorsports cars have been pretty fantastic on strategy so far this season. As the field comes blazing by, and still Edwards out front with almost a 3-second gap over the rest of the field. We're going to check in with Edwards, your race leader. Not showing any signs of slowing down. He's actually gained a lot of time here, still running consistently a tenth to 2/10 faster than the rest of the field. So that's what it looks like to one driver going wide open, to the rest of the guys doing a bit of fuel saving to hit their marks. As let's check in on some of the guys closer to the back. As we pan the camera back just in time, John Friley looks like he tags the outside wall. Timothy Johnson checks up to avoid getting into the 06 machine, but still great battling all across the track. You've got Edwards out front by a large margin, 3 seconds over Silvers, Vandermeer, McRae, Edgar, Sukup, Feskinen, all in a tight pack. And then about 1 second back from those guys, you've got the battle between Friley and Johnson, who's put on a show. And we may have misspoke here. It looks like that's going to be Evans in no man's land in the number 6 machine. He's running about a second pack from this large pack, running 2nd through 7th. So not sure if Evans had a bit of problems in that number 6 machine or what the issue may be, as Evans finds himself about 12.5 seconds ahead of Friley and Johnson, who are battling for 9th. We check in once more with your race leader, Austin Edwards, out front. He's lost about 4/10 on that lap, so maybe backing off the pace, looking at that fuel gauge and realizing I'm not going to make the window that my team set forth for me. As we expected that fuel window to open up on lap 30 to 35. As of yet, no drivers coming down pit road. But it'll be interesting to see when Edwards decides to go diving down here at Darlington. We're going to pan the camera back to Silvers running 2nd with that large tow of drivers. Now he has his teammate Vandermeer right behind him, and then McRae, the 99 dropping bombs machine, running 4th. Seems like these guys are pretty content still staying in formation, as Evans has, I believe, caught back up to the pack. No, that's going to be Jacob Feskinen, has worked his way back up in the 926 machine, leaving Evans about 2.7 seconds back from this massive pack, running 2nd through 7th. As that has a great angle showing the 3 different groups here. You got Edwards out front, the massive battle for 2nd, and then Evans was in the background trying to reel back into his teammates. Now Silvers, running 2nd place, has been rapidly closing the gap to Edwards. I think Edwards is trying to do all of his fuel savings late into the race, but 36 laps in, these guys have got to be getting close on fuel. And John Friley, Timothy Johnson will be the first 2 drivers to come down pit road. The 9th and 10th place drivers dive it in deep. They will take 4 tires and a full tank of gas in these street stock machines. Silver's running 2nd, getting a little bit closer each lap by to the race leader Edwards, now 1.2 seconds. Surely they'll be coming in this time by to make something happen. As now John Friley and Timothy Johnson have made it to their box, taking a long time to get to pit road. As we got drivers diving down pit road aggressively. Looks like McRae, Edgar, and Sukup stay out, while Edwards, Silvers, Vandermeed, Feskinen all come down pit road. Lap 37, the first pit cycle of the day. So now it'll be two different team captains, Tyler McRae, Jeff Edgar out front. Travis Sukup, a teammate with McRae, will look to follow him down pit road. While Jeff Edgar in the 007 is going to switch it up on fuel strategy here today to get a lap ahead of the field. As Timothy Johnson finally makes his way out of the pit stall, a long pit stop in these street stock machines, 58 seconds long to take 4 tires and fill them all the way up. Now let's see when Edgar, that 007 machine, is going to come down pit road. The only driver to have yet to pit, and he will come down pit road. So I believe if Timothy Johnson can keep his head down, he may come out as the race leader as the rest of the field finds themselves on pit road with his undercut strategy in that 553 machine. But no, here comes Vandermeed, Edwards, Silvers, Feskinen going to roll out of pit road together. Well, let's see how they intertwine with Johnson. As it looks like Johnson has at least worked his way back on the lead lap, but it'll be Vandermeed, your new race leader, getting out of pit road fastest out of the 5 drivers that came in together. So it's Vandermeed, Edwards, Silvers, Feskinen will be your top 4. As now Tyler McRae and Travis Sukup are going to roll out of pit road. And this is where things are going to get a little exciting. You got drivers on different fuel strategies as well as different tire strategies going to be intertwined on the track. There is McRae, who's going to get passed by Vandermeed and Edwards, linked up nose to tail. And let's see where Jeff Edgar is going to roll out. He should be leaving his pit stall in the next 5 seconds or so as Vandermeed, Edwards, Silvers, McRae make their way out of turn 4. Edgar has rolled out of his pit stall, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the backstretch as these two groups get mixed up. There's Edgar on the inside of the apron trying to get up to speed as quickly as he can to stay in this lead pack. So right now the top 5 after the pit cycle has completed is Vandermeed, Edwards, Silvers, McRae, Feskinen, your top 5. And it is your top 5 on a nice tight pack out here today. Looks to me like Johnson Edwards trying to make a move here against your race leader, Vandermeed. Both drivers were on the same fuel tonight, same fuel strategy at least. Is that McRae out on the outside wall? May have tagged in that 99 machine. Feskinen checks up slightly. As somebody has problems, I don't think that's Feskinen. That is lap traffic John Friley in the 06 machine trying to yield way to the lead pack, or at least crawl his way back onto the lead lap. Friley and the bright blue 06 machine, the black-white blue 06. He's tucked in behind Jeff Edgar, team captain, as Edgar looks to the inside line of Feskinen to try and take over the 5th place spot. Looks to do so cleanly. And my, oh my, look at Jeff Edgar go. He wants to get some laps led here in the 007. Very quickly working his way up to the front as Vandermeer and Edwards go side by side. Expect to see Edwards to give the support to Jeff Edgar as the two teammates work to crawl through the field, and they have a bunch of Cornerstone Motorsports drivers right behind them. And now look for Edgar and Edwards to start putting down some hot laps. Edgar came in on lap 39. Edwards came in on lap 17. This is the same duo that we saw win the season opener just 5 short rounds ago. As it looked like things are getting a little bit hectic as well, as McRae will take over the 3rd place spot from Silvers at Vandermeer, passing both Cornerstone Motorsports drivers. Going to be interesting to see, does McRae put down the loud pedal and try and catch up to Edgar and Edwards out front? Or is he going to follow along and just try and lead the 2nd pack? Looks like McRae is going to put it down here and try and reel back into the race leaders, but he's going to have Vandermeer, Silvers, Feskinen right in tow of that 99 machine, trying to use his draft as well. Edgar and Edwards still linked up nose to tail, not having any problems here. They're running a little bit, almost 2/10 slower than McRae was that last time by, so I think McRae is giving it all he has, that 99 machine, to try and catch up to these lead 2 cars and maybe get the draft support going to fuel saving mode. He's extended that gap to about 8/10 over Vandermeer. But I think Edgar and Edwards are going to give it all they have as well to try and keep McRae out of the draft. He's still holding back 1 second from these lead pack drivers. And Edgar and Edwards, when they're linked up like this, they can be lethal when it comes to strategy. McRae has gained some more time, now running about 3/4 of a second off the race leaders. If I was a guessing man, I think he's going to try and pull up there as quickly as he can, then go into fuel saving mode. As McRae came in a lap 38, Edwards in second came in a lap 37, and your race leader came in a lap 39, so he's got a little bit of fuel to burn. And McRae really finds some time, has closed it down to a half second to the lead pack. And yes, McRae has linked up to the tail end of Edwards now. Maybe still has about 2-3 car lengths between them. Now here's the question, is McRae going to follow in line and go into fuel saving mode? Or is he going to try and pass the leaders here going into our final fuel stop of the night? Expecting that pit window to open up just shy of lap 40, lap 80. About lap 70, I would say, is going to be our prediction for when the fuel window will open up once more if these drivers stay true to strategy. Now the question is, so you've got 4 drivers in the lead pack. You've got Edgar, Edwards, McRae, who extended their gap by about 4 seconds over the second place pack, which almost consists entirely of Cornerstone Motorsports drivers. Right now it's Vandermeer 4th, Silver's 5th, Feskin in 6th, and you've got DBR's Travis Sukup in 7th. This is going to be the fuel mileage race. It's going to be really interesting. 2 different groups on 2 different strategies. As Vandermeer, Silver's, Feskin, and they all came in a lap 37. The only driver in the lead pack, the top 3 that did the same stop, was Austin Edwards, number 19 machine, who's led a whole lot of laps here early on, leading almost the entirety of the first 37 laps before he came down pit road. The lead 3 drivers extending the gap even more, over 5 seconds between Vandermeer in 4th and McRae in 3rd. McRae at the tail end of that lead pack. As it looks like Silvers and Feskin may be taking a shot, maybe looking around Vandermeer, or just trying to get some air on the front end. Tough to tell. Now these are sometimes races of attrition. As you see the 3 Cornerstone Motorsports drivers with very similar paint schemes, making it easy for us to spot up here in the broadcast booth. So this will be a game of strategy as well as just not making any mistakes over the 110 lap feature event. As panning it back out front, Edgar, Edwards, McRae linked up nose to tail, extending the gap even further, now over 6 seconds to the second pack that starts at 4th place with Vandermeer. I wonder how much fuel that McRae is going to be able to save here, as it looks like Edgar and Edwards still going as fast as they can. As Jeff Edgar clicking off some laps, he's up 3 positions. He's our current hard charger, starting off 4th and now running the race lead. Tyler McRae in 3rd, also up 3 positions, starting 6th and now finds himself 3rd on the circuit. And now lap traffic will soon come into play. Going to be interesting to see how Edgar, Edwards, and McRae decide to navigate traffic, as that is Timothy Johnson, the 553 machine, just ahead of them, about 2 seconds ahead. He will quickly get swallowed up by the lead pack drivers. As here comes the lead pack, getting ready to deal with traffic for what it will be the first time tonight. Let's see where Johnson decides to go. Looks like he goes way down low to allow the race leaders to get through with no problems. Well done having the forethought to pick a good, consistent line. And that's probably the best thing you can do. Is it doesn't really matter what line you're on as long as you're consistent and maintain it. As these race leaders had several laps to check out traffic and see what they're going to do and make their decision based on that. So well done to lap traffic here tonight. As, man, the top 3 drivers checking out. They have put almost a 10-second gap on Vandermeed in 4th. Vandermeed has Silvers, Faskinen, and Sukup still in tow. And that 4-car pack. As we're going to pan the camera back to watch the battle for fourth as well. Very interesting to see how this is going to break down on fuel runs tonight. Will the top three drivers have enough to make it till the end? As Timothy Johnson, the 553 machine, completes his second stop at lap 67. Vandermeer's still leading the charge here in fourth, but he's lost a lot of time, still 12.2 seconds back from the race leader, Jeff Edgar. As the fuel window is now open for the second time tonight, this should be their final stop of the evening if they can make it down pit road. Now, the most we've seen a driver stretch it out is 39 laps. As here we go, some of the field starting to come down pit road. That will be Vandermeer, Silvers, and Feskinen coming down pit road. So they should be good to go to the end now. Travis Sukup stays out. He'll be in no man's land as your race leader. Edgar, Edwards, and McRae, the top three, all run together. And now we'll have most, if not all, of the field on pit road. Jeff Edgar and Austin Edwards come down, two teammates with fast lane, and now it'll be Tyler McRae's turn. And now here comes McRae down pit road. Will Travis Sukup follow in the 45? And let's see, this is going to be interesting. So now the Cornerstone guys are out of pit road and rolling once more with Silvers out front for the first time tonight. McRae, Sukup, Edwards, Edgar, your top four, all in pit road on different strategies. And this will be the final time tonight we see these drivers on pit road, barring any sort of late race shenanigans. And we get confirmation. Oh no, Jeff Edgar's in trouble. He has got a pit road violation as he is in his stall for 1 minute and 36 seconds. All that hard work will quickly be undone by the race officials provided by iRacing, as Edgar will drop back in the standings, now showing 9th as he makes his way out of pit road. And he will be just barely on the lead lap here. No, now it shows Edgar a lap down. John, yeah, there's Edgar on the outside line, avoiding the race leaders. So this is going to shake things up. Right now it's McRae out front by about 4 seconds. He had a slightly shorter stop. Now, right now, McRae still comfortably out front. He's got Austin Edwards about 4.5 seconds back from him as McRae slices through lap traffic. And oh, right as we see that, Evans tags the outside wall. The laps rapidly clicking off here at Darlington. McRae with that 4.2 second lead. Edwards came in the lap 76 behind your race leader and had a very slight longer stop, about a 3-second longer visit into his pit box. As I'm very interested to see how things are going to go here. Now, I'm not sure if Edwards is going to have enough laps here to try and catch up. He's running almost identical lap times as McRae that last time by. And Edwards doesn't really have much draft support to use either. Now, he does have Evans slightly in front of him. He may be able to leapfrog off the lap traffic of Tyler the Weapon Evans, and he does gain about 2/10 here over the course of this lap. So you may see two drivers on different teams and different laps and different strategies work together to try and get Edwards back up towards the front. Evans hops out of the way of Edwards. Last time by, Edwards ran about 3/10 faster than McRae did. Your race leaders, you see McRae at the end of the back stretch here at Darlington. 25 laps left to go. Going to be interesting to see if Edwards can make that ground up just on speed, or if he's going to have to really lean on a late race caution to make something happen. Timothy Johnson comes down pit road on lap 84 for his final stop of the night. As McRae just keeping his head down, still 3.7 ahead of Edwards. If there's going to be a race that forms up, it's going to be between these two for the battle for the lead, as they have about a 13-second advantage over the third-place pack that still consists of Silvers, Feskinen, and Vandermeed. Sukup finds himself about 3 seconds away from the tail end of that four-car pack as well. So he's going to try and hot lap here and get some more time. Edwards still closing the gap. As, we have a little bit, it looks like it was Evans in the outside wall, tagging the wall, maybe tightened up over the course of this run, or maybe some dirty air as he was following second place driver Austin Edwards to try and pick up a tow here and get back up towards the front and maybe claw back to the lead lap. As here is the second pack on the racetrack. That's Silvers, Feskinen, and Vandermeed, 3 teammates working together. As it looks like Edgar got back around this pack. And up front, the gap still holding about 3.6 seconds. Your race leader, Tyler McRae, with Droppin' Bombs Racing, has clean track ahead of him here. 6 drivers still on the lead lap late into tonight's featured event. As Edwards still clawing closer, consistently running in between a tenth to 2 tenths faster than your race leader, with just clean track ahead of him. As now McRae will have the privilege of cutting through traffic once more here at Darlington. That's going to be, I believe, Tyler Evans, the number 6 machine, ahead of your race leader. All the while, Edwards still finding time. Now 3.4 seconds, 20 laps left to go, 19 laps left to go. I'm curious, Edwards may be able to do this just on raw talent and speed alone. As you can see the gap very clearly at the start-finish line straight. That was camera focused on McRae, with Edwards working his way up in the background. McRae looks to get clear of the 06, but he's going to tag the wall and get a little bit of Darlington race stripes. As the race leader, not sure what happened there. If he maybe made a mistake, or the air off of Evans' machine caused him to run just a little bit wide. But that's going to allow Edwards to gain some even bigger strides here. Now down to about 3.3 seconds in closing between McRae, your race leader, and Edwards running second. Silver still leading the pack from third place back. Following behind Jeff Edgar's 007 machine, who is still a lap down after that unfortunate pit road violation on his second stop of the night. laps clicking off very quickly here. As third through fifth, still running single file behind traffic. Eder is going to yield the position back to these drivers, realizing he's not going to be able to gain that ground on his own, so he's going to tuck in behind these four and make sure he's got enough fuel to go to the end. As up front, McRae is losing the gap to Edwards, now 2.8 seconds. I'm wondering if McRae has some aero damage after those brief contacts with the outside wall and the safety barrier. As that machine looks very loose through the exit of turn 3 going into 4. You see that back end starting to swing around that 99 machine. As Edwards has made it 2 3/4 of a second and still closing. Edwards ran about 0.2 faster last time by. McRae with a 24.65. Edwards with a 34.65. Edwards with a 34.46 and about a 3-mile-an-hour trap speed difference to the advantage going to Austin Edwards. And very shortly, things are going to be getting a little exciting as Vandermeet and Silvers have a battle as well. Feskinen moves up to third. As now we've got racing amongst the teams as well. Ooh, Feskinen tags the outside wall as well, coming through 3 and 4. Vandermeet trying to follow up the inside line to squeeze ahead of Silvers. While Jeff Edgar, a lap down, follows the fray and watches this heated battle for third unfold. Start our 100th lap of the race. We pan the camera to Evans. Looks like he's going to come down pit road in that number 6 machine. Ooh, swerves up the track. Almost in front of his teammates. Evans thankfully able to navigate down to pit road for his final stop of the night with 10 laps left to go. McRae still out front. He is still holding about a 1.5 second lead, but Edwards has been putting the pace down. Still consistently running about 0.2 of a lap faster than the 99 machine out front. So I think we're going to have a battle here if Edwards can maintain that pace. He's been on rails in that number 19 machine. Seems like he's got it dialed in and glued to the track here late in the race. Definitely a long-term setup coming into its own as the run progresses. Just watching McRae, it almost looks like he's set up just a little bit loose here. And that's not allowing him to put the power down like he wanted, as Edwards is going to very quickly be catching the draft of the race leader with 8 laps left to go. 1.1 seconds separating these two drivers. Vandermeet takes over the 4th place spot from teammate Silvers. And for the first time in a long time, McRae has company within a second of that 99 machine. As the live timing tower updates on the left side of your screen, you can see Edwards putting the hammer down. He's about still 2.5 tenths faster than McRae that last time by. And Now the question is, how long before Edwards picks up the draft of your race leader? And we are going to have a battle, and it's going to get heated very quickly here. 7 laps left to go. These drivers have put in a whole lot of work to make it to the end of this main event. Again, $500 of purse money on the line for this season. Six laps left to go. Edwards squarely in the draft, looks to the inside line of McRae through 1 and 2, drives it in deep, hops to the high line, trying to carry as much momentum as he can. He's in the wall. Edwards tags the outside wall. Looks like he's about a half car back from McRae. Gonna try and work that side draft and maybe build up the momentum once more to make the move. He looks to the inside line through 4. McRae will try and answer on the outside line, carrying as much momentum as he can as they're side by side crossing the start-finish line. 5 laps left to go. It's a 2-car battle up front. These two drivers have worked almost a 16-second gap to the third-place driver, now owned by Jacob Feskin and the 926 machine. And let's see what's going to happen here. Edwards has the lead. McRae tries the answer on the inside line, dives it in deep in turns 3 and 4. Great side-by-side racing out here today. Edwards almost tags the outside wall. No room to spare there. Maintains the race lead as McRae drops in tow right on the back bumper of that 19 machine. Is McRae going to have anything left here at the end, or is this what it's going to be? Edwards, McRae, Veskinen holding on to the top 3. Looks like Edwards able to put the power down, especially midway through the corners. It seems where he's gaining his ground, gaining another 10th on McRae, but now McRae is his turn to use that draft to try and keep Edwards right there within striking distance. We may see these bumpers come into play. There's only 3 laps left to go, but to make that happen, McRae's going to have to stay right on the back of Edwards in that 19 machine. Now both these drivers have identical fastest lap times of the race, both clicking off 34.28 early on in today's main event. Last time by, Edwards ran about 0.08 of a second faster than McRae. We know Edwards has a long run car, but how will McRae be able to stay with it? Now he has that draft advantage to maybe make up for the speed that Edwards has had. 2 laps left to go. McRae still 2/10 back from your race leader. Oh, this is going to be heated here at the end of it. Edwards looking for his very first pro season win, as well as McRae. Meanwhile, a heated battle back for 3rd, as well as Veskinen and Bannermead go side by side, but all eyes right now on your race leader, McRae and Edwards. Gonna try and put on a show. 1/4 of a second separates the 2 drivers down the backstretch. McRae looks to the outside line. He'll gain about a 10th there, but maybe not enough. He's going to try and get on that back bumper of the 19 machine to try and upset Edwards just enough to make his way around, but it looks like it's going to be Edwards leaning it all the way out down to the line, so it'll be Austin Edwards brings home the win here at Darlington. Tyler McRae brings home a 2nd place after a hard-fought battle. And it appears it will be Veskinen brings home 3rd as well in the 926 machine, chased by Vandermeed, Silver, Suka. Great racing from all of these competitors, but it is Austin Edwards who's going to celebrate in style here with his very first pro season win. Great racing amongst all these drivers, and Edwards takes his victory lap here, and we're looking forward to the smoke show that 19 machine can put on for us. Great racing between Edwards and McRae, very clean all the way in, and he's going to burn it down in style, smoking the tires. He paid for the good years, and he's going to use all the good years. Well done to Austin Edwards in his very first Pro Series win, a well-deserved win. And it will be Austin Edwards, Tyler McRae, Jacob Veskinen rounding out our podium tonight of the Pro Street Stock Series, sponsored by Tri-E-Coolers. Thank you so much for Tri-E-Coolers for coming on board, as well as to our fans and friends who help make these broadcasts everything they can, and especially to our drivers running 110 laps here at Darlington, caution-free, as well as our race control, Mike Hayward, stepping in the booth and helping out. On behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will see you same time, same place next week. Have a great night, everyone.